Welcome to 1315, the podcast that teaches teens to pursue Christ and defend their faith in everyday life. My name is Caleb Eckerd, and I'm the co-founder of the ministry Grounds for Faith. I'm sitting down with some of the brightest minds that follow Christ to answer the hardest questions, talk to them about what they've learned along the way, and find out what encouragements they might have for the next generation of believers. With that being said, why don't you go ahead and grab yourself a cup of coffee, have a sit, and start listening. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and give you a quick little introduction. So for those of you that don't know, this is Grace Franklin. She is a 17-year-old girl from, correct, 17? Oh, yes, 17-year-old girl from California, and she is has just had a lot on her heart and has really wanted to just share what the Lord has been doing in her life. And so she just said, hey, why not? I'm going to go start a blog, and she did. So we kind of found her on the web, or she found us, and we got connected that way. And me and Ben were like, you know, we should get this girl on here for an interview just so we can kind of get to know more about her. So just a little, Grace, would you kind of like to offer a little intro to yourself, I guess?
Sure. Well, as you said, I'm 17. I've been blogging since I was in the 9th grade, so I was like 14. Very different back then. And I was just starting to get serious about my faith and stuff. And so I was like, you know, I want to share what I'm learning with specifically other girls. You know, being a girl isn't always easy. So I just want to see other girls be passionate about Christ and be satisfied with Him. So it came across that way. And so now it's, you know, I've got a WordPress now. And, you know, yeah. So I do that on the side of school and other hobbies.
Cool. So we're going to start with our signature segment. We haven't got to do it a little bit because we've been having our most recent episodes haven't had much of the quick sip because we've been doing podcasts with Ben, and well, our listeners already know Ben. So on a scale of meh to mind-blowing, how would you rate your week?
Definitely mind-blowing.
Wow.
You are considerably the first mind-blowing person we've ever had on the podcast.
No way.
Yeah, we've had some people pretty close, but not full-blown mind-blowing.
So congratulations.
Yay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Virtual cookies go out to you.
Oh, I was going to say virtual plaque, so that's actually pretty close.
See, I stole that off her blog, though, because she said virtual hugs and baked goods go out to people who finished reading the list about her. So I threw in a little bit of her own.
Ooh.
See.
All right. What is your favorite baked good? Just because I'm curious now.
That's really tough, actually. I really like tiramisu.
Wow.
Ben's uncultured. He doesn't know what tiramisu is. Poor thing.
No way. Oh my goodness. And you guys are coffee lovers? I'm so surprised that you guys don't know what that is.
Well,
because it's cake soaked in espresso.
Cake soaked in espresso.
That's just, I don't know. I'm not so much about the espresso life, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense later.
Ben's not much of a coffee drinker. I love coffee. I'm drinking some right now.
I'm not an everyday coffee person. But, you know.
Honestly, to be honest, I've never even drunk coffee before.
Oh.
I've only had coffee flavored things.
Oh, but you never actually had coffee.
So you're missing out. You're only getting half of the experience.
Yeah.
I know. I see so many on Starbucks. I'm just like, I want to try it.
Speaking of tiramisu, what did you eat before coming to, or not really coming, but before venturing to the telephone to record with me and Ben?
Well, it was actually, I had a really late breakfast. So I had a nice big bowl of Rice Krispie treats and a sourdough English muffin, toasted with like lots of butter.
Do you put sugar in your Rice Krispie treats, or you eat them like just the milk and the Krispies?
Oh, just milk and the Krispies. I can't. No, it has to be plain.
Oh man, I'm sensing
Even though I do love sweets.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Wow.
All right, what's your favorite time of day? Morning, midday, evening, or night, and why?
Oh, this is easy because I talk about this all the time. It is definitely the morning. In part because that's when I get to do my Devo time, which is like, I call it my Devo time, when I read my Bible and pray and do a little bit of studying of the Bible. Sometimes I'll take a walk outside. And then also because I get to see the sky go from dark to light, which I think is so cool. And I get to have breakfast with the meal of the day.
Wow, I mean, you're fitting a lot of stuff into your morning there. I like that.
Thanks.
Ben, would you like to hit him up with the next question?
What book have you finished reading most recently?
Ooh. I have to say, I think it was And the Bride Wore White by Banna Gresh.
Say that one more time for us.
And the Bride Wore White.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Gotcha now.
So was that, did you enjoy that?
Oh, definitely. It was so good. It was about her journey of purity and stuff. And but it also gave tips on, like, how you should, like, interact with guys, like, as people first.
Yeah.
And not being like, oh, yeah, there's a guy over there. Oh, I have to date him.
Yeah.
It's more like, just seeing them like that and just loving them as people first and things like that. So it was really good.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, guys are people too.
Pretty cool.
Ben says we're pretty cool ones. I don't know about that though. We're all right. So, which book other than the Bible has impacted your life the most?
Okay, I love this one. Faithful One by Amy Jo Herrera. I think that's how you say her last name. It's actually an interactive study book that my sister bought me for Christmas. My birthday. She bought for my birthday this year, and so it's an interactive study book, and it was really good. It's like I'm going through it now, and it just reveals some things in myself that I need to change in order to reach my goal of becoming a faithful one. And it's also encouraged me in studying the Bible and going as far as looking up Greek words and then taking what I've learned into my life.
Gotcha. I know Ben is really big on loves studying the Greek section of just Scripture and just the root and the origin of the word. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
It's important when you're trying to figure out what the text actually says. So yeah,
exactly.
Or what they actually mean.
Yeah,
exactly.
So what's the name of the and obviously I know, but we're just trying to help the listeners along here. What's the name of of your website and of
the blog
you do?
It is Girl Talks 31, and yeah, it's a girl blog about the Christian life and biblical theology, encouraging girls in their faith.
Cool. So why the name Girl Talks 31?
Well, 31, of course, comes from Proverbs 31, becoming a Proverbs 31 woman. And then the Girl Talks is because sometimes there'll be like some more like household girl stuff like self-image or talking about boys and things and crushes, and but coming at from a biblical perspective, like as though like this is what we need to be doing, not being so obsessed with the way the world says that girls should interact with people and be as a person, but coming from a biblical perspective.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's huge value in how you approach the world as a girl, especially not just as any girl, but as a Christ follower. I think that's something that's lost, and it's something that, and this is odd because I'm a guy saying this, but it's not something we really talk about in the church to our younger generation of women.
Yeah, definitely.
So, kind of, what's your position, I guess, when it comes to like school? Like, what kind of school do you go to? Are you homeschooled, private school, public school?
I've actually homeschooled. I've been homeschooled my entire life, actually. Never stepped foot in a, like, quote-unquote, regular school, with my quotations there. Yeah, homeschooled.
So, have you enjoyed that?
Oh, I have. Because it's like, the homeschooling I do is online homeschooling, so it's public school but online. So I still have, like, my teachers, and I still have virtual classmates with other people, so it's like, you know, I get to communicate with people who are, you know, in my same classes, and I still have my 6 teachers and online classes full of students. So, yeah.
Cool. So how have you gotten to like interact with other people? I don't know, like the level of interaction that you can have with your said classmates, but what is your general like social interaction look with like those around you?
Well, I go to a youth group, a Christian youth group, at a church in Castro Valley, California, where it turns out now I'm like the oldest kid there. So now, because the other people graduated, but I've been able to, you know, talk with like my small group of teenage girls, of like juniors, and especially with people. And then I'm also I do a internship there as well. So it's an even smaller group of people, guys and girls, where we help, you know, set up for the youth group Bible study and things like that. And we spend like half the day together, like hanging out. We study apologetics together, and we sometimes think about dinner. So on those nights. So my general social life is like out there. So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So, what has been maybe one of the hardest things that you've had to deal with or experience among your friends or in your school group?
Well, I think the hardest thing regarding to my school group is when I was in the 9th grade, I think. I was just starting to sort of get serious about my faith and my relationship with God. And so I ended up sort of getting a little cyberbullied a little bit. There was some people, you know, sort of trying to pressure me to do things that I didn't want to do, such as like posting online pictures of myself.
Yeah.
And that was really hard. In part, it was my fault because I wasn't supposed to be talking about the discussion in the first place during school hours. And then, you know, had to deal with the consequences of that. But at the same time, it brought me closer to my family, but then also to God, because I had to, like, really depend on Him for strength to face through every day. And, you know, then coming into the online classroom and, you know, them trying to talk to me and things. So I think that was probably really hard. And then in person-wise, there were times when, because I was more serious about my faith than the people that I was hanging around with, there were times where I felt left out and excluded, and even to the point where I was at a conference and it just kind of it broke me down so much and ended up just being alone. But at that time, that's when my relationship with God really escalated, like, beyond, like, I'm so thankful for that experience because it really set my heart on fire for God. So, yeah.
It sounds like you have got a group of girls that you kind of hang around a lot and do some accountability stuff with you. So maybe could you talk a little bit about how that has played an important role in your life? Because some Caleb and I like to emphasize is having a godly partner around you to, you know, kind of keep you on track with in your walk with the Lord, and in your faith, and how important that is, to have someone next to you. So maybe you can talk about that for a little bit.
Sure. So I've got a few girls in my life. They are like a year or two older than me, and they have been such a great accountability for me, and just been that person in my ear that's like, this is what's going on, and like, how do you want me to pray for you? And they've just really been there, like, as a spiritual mentor, but then as a friend. And there's just some, they send me worship videos that just, really, like, stirs in me, and they give me scripture, and we just allow us to just talk about life and stuff, and that has been such a key role in my faith and my relationship with God, just seeing some people who are closer to my age, but they're, like, sort of in their young adult years, and just, it's just been a great blessing in my life. And I love you guys' term battle buddy, because I just think that was so cute. And I'm trying to think of a girl version of how we would say it.
Yeah.
But
that's funny.
Because I think it's such a good idea, and accountability is such a blessing.
Yeah, I agree with you. It is. So, do you have any kind of mentors that you kind of look up to, or you meet with, or something like that? Because that's another thing, having older people in our lives to ask questions, hard questions, to about life that they've experienced and that we're going through. So, do you have any kind of people you look up to in that sense, or any mentors?
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely my mom, for one. She's just so amazing. I always tell her that she's like more than my mom, but like my therapist, my accountability partner, my spiritual mentor. She's just amazing. She knows so much. And her relationship with God is just so beautiful to see. Like, I have memories of her when I was younger, of her just worshiping God with all of her heart. And that has really impacted me. Like, so this is where I'm trying to go to in my relationship with God. This is the goal I'm trying to reach. I want to be so passionate about God and worshiping Him and loving Him and knowing so much about Him. And this is where I'm trying to go. So definitely my mom. And one of my leaders at my youth group, her name is Sherry. She is the same way, prayer warrior, just like my mom. And with the both of them, they have both been able to, pull me aside and say, and just talk to me about things that they notice in me. And just, it's just been a great blessing. And definitely out there, listeners, get a mentor who is older than you, like older and wiser than you, that can show you the ways, the Christian faith.
Yeah. Definitely. So, when it came to starting Girl Talks 31, what was your level of experience with like programming or writing or designing a website? Was there any of that, or did you just kind of dive into it? If so, just tell me about it.
Well, honestly, how the blog even came about was I had to create a website for school, and then I started messing around with it, and it ended up turning into Girl Talks 31. And so I just used a WordPress. Before, when I first did it, I was using a Weebly page, and that was really cool. But then I decided to switch over to the WordPress. And then with the writing, in the 9th grade, I started really getting into it a lot more. My brother is a writer. He writes a lot, and my sister, my younger sister, also writes a lot. And so it was kind of a thing where it just kind of happened. I just was like, this is on my heart, and I just started writing. And then, of course, I used, online editors as well to perfect my writing. It just came in school. That's where my writing experience comes from.
Awesome. So, really just kind of jumped in and, ultimately you used this, it sounds like you used the situation that God presented before you. You had to do this school assignment, which we all know. They're not always the most enjoyable things to do. But you took that and you use that for God's glory, which I think is awesome. I think one of the easiest things you can do when you first start, like the school year, is if a teacher asks for a personal essay or whatever, I generally use that opportunity to share my testimony. Which is awesome because your teacher can't get away from it. So, that really is truly incredible how the Lord uses things, and you never know how He's going to put things together in order to glorify Himself through that. So that's awesome. I love that portion of your story.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I think something that's so cool about that is you kind of in the same situation as Caleb and I, where we kind of felt a calling from God and we just kind of rolled with it. Not making excuses, not coming up with reasons why something wouldn't work, something is not gonna go as we planned it, but just kind of praying through things and just knowing that God had it all wherever the direction that we went, praying that would be where God wanted us to go. And I think that's so important. And it's so cool to see, another, young adult, a 17-year-old doing the same thing, letting God work through her, and stuff. It's just, it's an awesome testimony that you have. And it points to the fact that, young people can do things, we're not completely useless.
Exactly.
So do you have any last words of advice? This isn't something we typically get to ask for from a young 17-year-old young adult girl on our show. So is there any advice you could offer towards any of the young girls out there when it comes to sharing their faith or defending their faith?
Sure. So I'd say that you guys just do whatever God has put on your heart. And whether it's through your hobbies or something that you really want to try, whether it's just through wearing t-shirts to start up a conversation with someone, do that and pray for people and ask the Lord that one day you get a chance to, share your faith with people, whether it's through a blog or through artwork or something like that. And just trust in the Lord with all your heart. And don't think about how, this won't work, or I'm too shy, or I'm too scared. Just do it and put all your fears in the Lord. And He already knows, what's going to happen. So we should trust Him with that. Trust in, there's so much freedom in that. So, yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. That is Grace Franklin from Girl Talks 31. Grace, thank you so much for your time and giving us a ring for today.
You're so welcome. This is so much fun and such a blessing.
Well, I'm glad Ben and I are encouraged, and we hope that you're encouraged as well.
Yep.
Definitely.
Alrighty, so we will be in touch, and we'll see what can happen, and we just can't wait to hear from you in the future.
Totally. I look forward to it.
All right. We hope you have a good rest of your Saturday.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
So there you have it, everybody. That is Grace Franklin again from Girl Talks 31. We're excited just to see how the Lord really just worked it together to kind of put us together. And one of the things and Ben said it, that struck us when we came across Grace was the fact that she was just another young adult that wasn't out there making excuses saying, I don't know how to do it, I'm not that smart, I'm not that capable, but all she did was follow the Lord's calling, and that is something that really encouraged us. Mm-hmm. And while it's a different direction than most of our podcasts typically go, we wanted to give her the opportunity to share her story and just talk about Girl Talks 31 a little bit, because we want to show that it's not just us, and it's something that you can do too.
And it's, that's God working everywhere. She's on the West Coast and we're on the East Coast. So, there's God working across the United States, and it's worldwide. But I just think it's so cool, like Caleb said, to see, people following the Lord and His calling on their lives. So
yeah. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. That way you never miss an episode, because it would be a shame if you missed out on hearing my voice and Ben's voice.
yeah.
Okay. But even worse, it would be worse if you missed out on the awesome information and applicable information that we're dishing out. So go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. If you haven't, go ahead and jump over to groundsforfaith.com. That's grounds4faith.com. And check us out. And go ahead and follow the blog if you have not already.
Get them email updates.
If you'd like to have either me or Ben or both of us, yeah, I know, right? Come and speak. Just give us a ring. You can check it out on the Book a Speaker tab on the webpage. So we'll hope that y'all will do that, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again. If you have any questions, submit them at the bottom of the website, or you can comment them down below in the comment section of the podcast page. Thank you so much. Take care.
Have the great rest of your day or night or evening.
Or morning.
Or morning.
And God bless.